Hello, and welcome to the Casino Tears podcast. I'm one of your hosts, 10 Ton is number one, and joining me as my co-host is the one and only Ed Robinson from Roll to Win Craps. If you want more info on our show, please visit our page at casinotears.com. On this week's show, we discuss listener questions, comfort levels, planning and pressing, the longhand. We also touch on one money, stop loss, sister numbers, the 6-8 race, Alice in Chains, Marvin's Gardens, and 10 Tons Encore Gut Punch. I have a bunch of notes that I want to talk to you about that I wanted to ask you about. But I got a couple follow-up questions, Ed. Okay, I got an email from someone, and I forgot to tell you. There was a guy, his email says Buddy Dukes, right? That's his email. It's the guy. Remember a few episodes ago in Tunica, how you met a guy named Rudy?
Yeah, his name's Buddy.
Okay. Yeah, but guess what his handle is? You know he's got a handle? I started talking to him because he emailed in. Loves the show. It's awesome, dude.
Okay.
But he was hey, I'm Rudy.
Yeah. Yeah. I messaged him. Dude, I'm sorry I called you Rudy. He said, it don't matter. We had a great time.
Yeah, you know what his handle is?
No, I have no idea.
Dude, he's got a handle. His handle is Rooster.
Rooster. Gotta be from Texas.
That's a cool handle, right?
Rooster Cogburn.
Rooster, dude. You ever hear that Alice in Chains song? Rooster.
Who?
Rooster. Alice in Chains. You've heard it, dude. I bet everyone listening to this podcast has heard Rooster by Alice in Chains.
Not this old man.
Man, that's a good song, dude. It's about
not a country song.
It was this guy's call sign. No, it's more of like a, I guess you'd say it's a metal grunge song.
Then I can.
You've heard of it, dude. I know you've heard this song.
Unless I heard it at a stop sign or a red light, I had never heard it.
You've heard it.
That's the only place I hear that kind of shit.
That's a poignant
stop
song,
signs
man.
and red light.
That's a poignant song. It's about Vietnam, and it's about how his call sign was Rooster and how they were trying to kill him. That's a pretty intense song, man. I should send that to you. I bet your wife has heard it.
Oh, she probably knows it.
Yeah, say Alice in Chains Rooster. I bet she'll be like, I love that song. You would like that song, man. That song's great. Anyway, Rooster, Buddy Dukes, dude. Good name, Rudy.
So what did he have to say besides, hey, this is my name?
That's it. I think that's all he had to say.
Okay.
That's all I remember. Rooster, man.
He likes
Rudy.
the podcast. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All
right. And then so I know we talked about that episode with the beach volleyball because Lazy Dog had sent that question. But Lazy Dog, listen, Lazy Dog, he always sends in little random emails to me. And I got to tell you, I think Lazy Dog was not happy about the fact that in this last one, we were talking about the dice sets. I think Bo was basically talking about how he was setting the dice and the grips and the fact that you couldn't see it because this is an audio podcast. Anyway, Lazy Dog, apologies. We don't have the videos. Sometimes like Bo is going to be assuming you could see a video of him showing the dice sets, but you can't see it because only I can because I've got the footage here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Lazy Dog, we hear you loud and clear.
He wants video.
Yeah, wants video. All right.
Yeah. You said we'd have it by the end of September.
I'm late. I already apologized to Dr. No about the don't betters out there. All right, dude. Here's follow-up questions. Okay, you ready, Ed? This is from Bump John. Okay.
Good old Bump John. Roll Tide Bump John.
So he said, remember when he was saying, well, sometimes I'll just stay till I have no money left. You remember that? Okay. Anyway,
we talked about that with Bo.
Yeah. This is a follow-up. He said, the only thing, and I'm reading this quote right now from text. The only thing I don't understand about their answer though, is why have a stop loss? If I go with 2,000 and have a 50% stop loss, why don't I just bring 1,000 and buy in with that instead of buying in for 2,000? What's the difference? And then he says, is it just a mental of walking out with 1,000 in your pocket, knowing that they didn't take everything?
That's a pretty good question, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's how you look at it, right?
All right. So if I walk in with 1,000, I'm still walking out with money in my pocket, dude.
Okay.
Not giving them, if I buy in with 1,000, I'm not going to give them $1,000. Are you?
So what is the point then?
What's the point?
Yeah. You know, he's just saying, well, if I have 50% is my stop loss and I have 2,000, why bring the 2,000? Why don't I just bring the 1,000? And basically his stop loss is the entire thing, essentially.
All right. So here's the deal. All right. Let's just say you've got let's use his $1,000 example.
Okay.
You can double it and add commas all you want to.
Sure.
Let's just say you've got a stop loss of, pick a number, $300.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So let's just say you're down to about, you're not having a good session. You're down, you got about 450 left in your rack.
Yep.
Or you're only going to expose that. Maybe you got 2 more shooters before you're getting the dice and you've got good confidence in yourself on this particular table. All right. So that shooter didn't, so maybe you went $60. Now you got $390. You're $90 away from your stop loss and they're pushing the dice in front of you. What are you going to do? This is where your stop loss is important, because then it's to you and you've got the dice. Am I only going to bet $90 or am I going to bet my normal bet on myself? Whatever that is. 110 inside, 220 inside.
But if you do your normal bet, then you're already below your stop.
Then you're getting below your stop loss. So then you've got to climb back up to at least your stop loss. I mean, is it a set and concrete number? No, but you don't. The idea is to not let them have everything you got. Don't go off. This is it.
Why?
Because if you go off tilt, you'll lose everything. Why do you want to lose everything? Why do you want to lose everything? I don't want to lose anything. So why would I want to lose everything?
Right.
So you need a place where, okay, I'm saving this $300. I got my I bought in on myself. I got my 300. I got back up to my $300 stop loss. I got back up to 400. Okay, I'm out of here. Whatever it was.
So is that just a mental thing to make it feel like so you're not a fucking complete loser? Essentially,
that's part of
because
that's part of it.
Because listen, if you're at 390,
but beyond mental is also real, because that's still money in your bankroll so that you can play it another day.
That's true.
Table.
That's true. That's a tricky thing. Okay, I've got my stop loss is 350 and I'm looking at 390 in my rack. I'm $40 away. Like, so what do you do?
And the dice are coming to you.
Yeah. So what do you do? Oh, like I've been in this situation.
Everybody's.
Oh, well, I can't go below my 350.
Then you go to yourself, can I do what I think I can do? And am I willing to put some money on it? So then I go, let's just say 110. Now I don't have 300 in my rack anymore. I've got some money in my rack. I've got money on the table.
You got 280 right now. If you had 390,
I need one hit on something to get me back, right?
Okay.
In that example. So now I got 300. You just don't. Why would you want to give them everything? I mean, a lot of people do that. A lot of people go and they're willing to lose whatever they buy in for.
Right.
And that's their game plan. I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose this 1,000.
They've already made their stop loss
0
before they left the house.
Their stop loss was 0.
Yeah, their stop loss is I'm spending this much. And
if your stop loss is 0, leave your ATM card at home.
It's interesting, man. When you pulled me on Caesars and we left, I mean, I was stopping anytime, Ed. I'm not just saying this. I was like at my stop loss, because I was down a lot. I was not giving them all of it. If I was drinking, that would have been another story for another time.
But you weren't.
My stop loss would have.
And you were with me, and I have common sense even when I'm drinking.
But
no fear.
It was just not happening. And
no, it was just a bad deal.
Unfortunate.
We should have left an hour before we did.
I agree with you. We even got Mudslide to lose more than he's ever lost, I think, in a place.
He didn't always play with us because, I mean, you'd look over and he'd be over at the table by himself just throwing dice.
See, it was tough all around. None of us caught a hand. Nope.
Okay, so I don't know if Bump John that really answered your question, but I mean, if your stop loss is 0, your stop loss is 0, but be sure and leave your ATM card at home.
I mean, psychologically, I think it's good to not be felted and not have them get it all.
It's discipline. It's part of the discipline.
It's more symbolic, Ed. about leaving with something.
It's symbolic, it's discipline, it's all the above. You just don't, you want to have enough bullets to make enough bets. I get it. So that's why you buy in with more than
Hmm.
1,000. If say 1,000 you stop loss, you're buying in with 2,000. Well, then all of a sudden you're down to $1,200 and you really need a few more bullets to make a few more bets on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Get those bullets back or use those bullets to get you back if you can. If you can't, walk away right then.
You ready for the next question?
Sure.
Here's a follow up. Dude, follow up is from Moonshine. Okay.
Nice guy, by the way.
Yeah, Moonshine. Dude, I like his handle, dude. But I like his chips with the elk on them. Remember? He had
Yep.
the elk on his chip. All right.
Got him right over there.
So this is the question that he asked that you and Bo answered. It was, I'd like to know, when do they know on a random when it's time to go from cautious to let's go? That was the original question. Okay.
Right.
He texted me this. If I could have a follow up to the question, both Bo and Ed said basically when they are out of the hand. Does it make a difference if you are down or up? Say you're on a semi cold table and it's choppy. Does that make a difference?
You're asking
Yeah.
you're asking me that question?
Yeah.
I've already told you I might be crazy, but I ain't scared.
Mm,
If the hand is rolling, why would I pull my bets down? Why would I let off the gas?
mm.
Because now I'm making my money back. I made $2,000 off that freaking redhead.
Yeah.
Luck, just the luck that I was there. Nobody else that I was with made that. And I don't know that anybody else, other than maybe the guy next to me, because he was pressing hard, made that much outside the repeater bets. I mean, those guys made their money on the repeaters. I made my money by just playing what was tossed. So I guess
In that girl's role, there was a point though when you were like, let's go, right?
absolutely, almost within 3 rolls, it was let's go.
But did it matter what was happening beforehand? Or is that time, regardless of if you're down or if you're up, did that play into?
That makes no difference. It makes no difference. You're playing the hand that's in front of you that's being tossed. You're playing the hand in front of you that's being tossed. You're not playing the hand that was tossed 2 hours ago that you lost money on. You're playing this hand. And this hand is a heater. You made a bet on the person for some reason. You made a bet. I made a bet for some reason, right? And so when my bets were covered and back in my rack, then I'm trying to look for a little bit of profit and some pressure. So I have a lot of half presses and a couple of power presses I use as I go through these progressions. Half presses is putting money in my rack and putting pressure on the number. So now, by the time I collected $210 on her 100 on my $180 bet on that 6 or 8, whichever it was, I just put $210 in my rack. Why do I care if she throws another one or not?
Mhm.
She does throw another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you go from 180? Where does anybody go from 180? A lot of people go to 210 or 240,
Yeah.
right? It's just an $18 bet with an extra
Yeah.
zero. I drop them $30 and went to 420. You can do the same thing on an $18 bet. When it hits, drop them $3 and you can go to
Go to
42.
42.
Next hit, collect 50,
Yep.
right? But I dropped them 30, went to 420, put $10 aside in my rack so that as soon as she hit it again, I'd drop it on and they'd give me 5 black chips.
Nice, man.
That's what they do. I mean, it's at that point, you have to decide, is that money out there? You can't make money without money on the felt, right? How much am I willing to leave out there so I can make money? That's what it boils down to. If she'd have hit that damn thing again, I'd have went to $900.
Man, that's like found money right there on a random shooter that's just off, like this is going off like that. That is the gift from the heavens.
The sister number was lagging and I was collecting a lot more on it than I was on the one I had pressed up. So I was like, I'll press that sucker to 900 if she hits it again and see if she dare to hit it. And I'll collect $1,050 if she does.
Man, sister numbers. I fucking don't play sister numbers. You know, I was on my
No,
drive today, Ed.
I'm not talking about betting or playing, but
I know, but
the 6 was lower than the 8.
yeah,
And so the reason the 6 was lower is I was using it to prop up myself because I was heavy on the 8. Does that make sense?
totally. I was watching some today. I was catching up on some pro craps, and they were talking about 6 and 8 and sister numbers and how he likes that. And I got to tell you, I fucking hate doing that. There is only one situation, period, ever and it's a very specific level, which I will only, and that's at a $50 410, the only time I'll ever feed a sister, and it's only that one time and that one increment because that's a 10-4.
10-4, good buddy.
Exactly, just to get them up to 100. But I don't do it ever. I never play sister numbers. I don't believe in it. I don't think they hit. And he's a big proponent of that, especially with the 6 and 8. I've just seen it too much. You can have 20 rolls and not hit a 6, and you can have like 5 8s. I mean, I just see it all the time. You can have all these 4s, not hit a 10. You can have all these 9s, not hit a 5. You can have all these 5s, not hit a 9. I just don't believe in that whole school of thought of. And by the way, when I was at Heavy's class, when he let me sit in there a long time ago, I asked him when he was going through his betting, and he was like literally pressing up the 6 and 8 together at those low limits. And I was like, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you pressing up the 6 and 8 together? Because I don't think it makes sense for me. I don't like doing it. I've never have liked doing it. I don't like it for how I've seen it live on the table. I know that's a method, Ed, but I just don't do it. If I was in a position to teach people to bet, I would discourage them from pressing up sister numbers. What do you think?
Let's walk through something real quick. So let's say the 8 hits first.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a decision. Okay, the 8 might be more dominant than the sister, or the 9 hits first, whichever. I mean, just
it already is more dominant right then.
It hit first. So you could collect, or you could half press, or you could power press. You could take that 18, collect the 21. You could take that 18, go to, 24, or you could drop $3 and go to 42.
Yeah. Or you could bet it, or you could put it on a number that hasn't even hit.
No, you're not going to do that. I never do that. And I've told you that a gazillion times, and I fussed at you for all that freaking money you lost on that crapless table because you were betting numbers that were not hitting. So you know how I feel about this.
I'm specifically talking about the sisters. Yes.
Well, I don't.
Well, you mean it applies to everything.
Same. It's all the same. All right. Now, the 6 hits. Let's say you kind of did a half press on the 8. Now the 6 hits. What are you going to do? You got to make a decision, and you should know this before the dice are even thrown. If the 6 hits after I've pressed the 8, I may just collect the 6 because it's lagging. And then the 6 hits again, you go, oh, shit, right?
Yeah.
Then it's hit twice, and the 8's only hit once. You drop 3 and power press it to 42.
Yeah, come from behind, man. Now it's taking the lead.
Then you put it up front. All right. So you're sitting there with a $42 6, and you're sitting there with a $24 8. You didn't press them combined.
Right.
Because that's really and truly, that's stupid. My opinion. In my opinion, you don't do that.
That's my opinion too.
You only press what's hitting. I told you that on that crapless session that we talked about. So then all of a sudden the 8 hits. You got 24 on it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You go ahead and go to 42 and put some money in your rack. Now you got both of them at 42. You don't care which one hits.
They're both strong.
They're both strong in relation to maybe the other numbers on the table.
Yeah. Thoroughbreds, man. They are out in the lead, man. They are just neck and neck.
42, 420, whatever you want it, wherever you're at in your bankroll and your bets. So then collect the first hit, 8 hits again. All right, 8's woke back up. Collect it. 8 hits again.
Oh yeah, man. It's got a surge.
8 hits again.
Man, pulling away.
Pull it to 90.
Yeah, 8.
Go to 42 to 90. They'll give you $1 back off of the stack. Then the 6 hits, and you got 42 on it.
Tightening it up. All right, man. This is a good race.
Yeah, it's a race. 6 hits, go to 42. You collect. You're at 42. Go ahead and collect.
Yeah.
6 hits again.
Man, neck and neck, man. Coming
Now
down
you
the
got to
home
decide,
stretch, dude.
do you want to take that 6 up to 90?
Yeah.
It's lagging. It's always been lagging,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Take it to 60.
Yep. But still a workhorse nonetheless.
Partial press, but it's still lagging. Then they throw a damn 6 again.
Man, he's got some juice saved up at the end, some energy.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with that $70 if they just lay out in front of you?
I don't know, man. I say you.
Let's put it in front of the 8. Let's go to 120.
Oh, whoa. You just put it onto the 8?
No, I said put it in front of the
Oh,
8.
yeah.
The 8 setting
now,
at 90.
yeah, it's taking the lead now.
Yeah.
6 surgeon.
Press that sucker to 120. You can go all day with this game, but you got to kind of decide your rhythm and routine of these presses before you even walk into a casino. And if you don't
as
know,
we round the home stretch.
as you round the home stretch, you got the 8 in the lead, but the 6 is behind by a nose, and he's coming up strong.
And here comes the 6.
Here comes the 6 with a 120 bet. And it rolls and it hits and it pays 140. Now where are you going? 180.
Yeah.
Just press that sucker on up, put a little money in the rack, press it up. You're already up. You're already ahead of the game. I mean, these are small increment bets I'm talking about for the most part. So, but
the point is that
I'm only pressing what's hitting.
Yeah, I'm not a big sister like, oh, if the 4 and then you have to do the 10. Like I said, that 1 with that caveat that
The only thing I do in somewhat of a sister fashion is if the point's a 4, I'm going to bet the 10.
Okay.
Why?
Why? Because a 4 and 10 equaling out with the 7.
That's exactly right. How many ways can you roll a 4
6
and 10
and 6.
combined?
6 and 6. So you're treating it.
Yep.
That's why. But I'm never feeding one to hit the sister.
But the difference is if that 10 hits, I'm pressing the 10, not the 10 and the 4.
Right.
I'm not pressing the 4 if the 10 hits. If I hit the 4 as the point with odds, then I'm going to take 50% of the odds and place the 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not talking about randoms per se. I'm talking about shooters. I never think about how I'm going to, I don't talk about how I would bet this way on a random thrower. It ain't happening. Right.
Yeah.
I'm talking about shooters. I don't go out there and bet 640 across or 220 inside on random throwers. I never have, and I never freaking will. But I'll catch their hand just like I caught that lady's hand.
Yeah, man. Caught it. Right place, right time, right?
It could be any place, anytime. You're already at a table for 20 minutes. Somebody gets the dice and you're just kind of tiptoeing in, or maybe you're even betting one hit can't miss or something, and they get into a heater. Take advantage of it.
But Ed, why are people like saying that you should bet and press sister numbers? Like, for example, the 9 hit and I'm just going to put money on the 5 and press up the 5 because it's a sister. Why are people saying that?
Because they used to play Monopoly and they want to own Park Place and Boardwalk.
Hey, Ed, I'm Monopoly. You know what, dude? I actually liked the cheap properties because they were easy to buy. What was it? Mediterranean? The purple ones, Mediterranean and Baltic. I think were the 2 cheapos. I used to like becoming like a little housing project slumlord over there.
You were a Section 8 landlord.
I did like that because it was you could get them and then you could build a little hotel on them pretty quick.
Cheap.
Yeah, I always liked those yellow ones and those green ones. I forget what they were, like Marvin Garden, stuff like Indiana Place and Pennsylvania Ave was one of those. Man, I haven't played Monopoly and I don't know how.
I hadn't played in a long time, but you know what? I just used that as a metaphor. That's why a lot of people do that. Why, if the number isn't paying its rent?
Exactly.
Why are you betting it?
That's a great question.
Why do you even
Because it's its sister. Because people say it's a sister. It's related to it.
You know what? I got a sister and I ain't going to bet on her.
Yeah. Yeah. My sister listens to the podcast, and you know what she said after she first heard the podcast? She's like,
she probably said I was a genius and you were a dumbass.
No, she's like, why are you so nice on the podcast and you're not this nice to me? That's what she said.
Typical sister.
Not funny. She
Yeah.
won't hear this. She's not on the Patreon, but
She's
that's what
not
she
on the
said.
Patreon
No.
side. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, yeah, I
No.
mean, it's okay. I don't know. Hopefully, Moonshine Melvin, that helps. Feel free to do a follow up.
Man, Ed, the best time for me to talk, Ed, is in the car when I'm going from LA to Vegas. I talked to Moonshine for like probably an hour and 15 minutes today.
Did you have your heater running?
I had a heater running the whole time. We talked about that because I'm having an issue with my car is overheating, and it's a 2017
You had your thermostat checked?
Jag F Pace, and I've taken it to a dealer in LA and Vegas, and they both and spent thousands of dollars, and they both said they couldn't find what the problem was. But
Tell them to get on the highway.
I did. Oh, we drove it for 150 miles. I'm like, something happens. And of course, it happened again, and I have to turn on the radiator full blast, and it
Heater.
takes all the heat off the engine. It's funny. It has like moonshine. It might be loud in here because I got the window down, because I got the full blast heat going on this whole
Yep.
ride, Ed. It's cold outside. It's burning up inside. And I'm just like, waiting for this. Hopefully this.
I'm impressed you knew how to do that.
Dude, I knew that's old school trick, man. I used to do that
It
when I
is
was
an old school trick, and I didn't know you knew how to do that. I was like, when I hung up from you today, I was like, 10-ton knows to run the heat.
I got a bag of tricks, man. But I started with the heater because my old car, I used to have to do that. Then it was the radiator, which actually makes the big difference. But Moonshine knew exactly what was going on because he has like, I know he's like, yeah, we used to do that with the old farm equipment or something. And when it gets so hot out, he's like, you just turn that on full blast. So that he's like, I think it could be a relay or something like that, which is interesting. But I had him fucking check everything. He also said maybe there's something in your radiator.
You had your radiator flushed
I
lately?
don't know. I fucking figure I
How many miles that car? That car don't have any miles. It look
60,
brand.
it's like 62,000 in however many years. Not much. I only use it
No
to drive back and forth from LA to Vegas. Crazy, right? So anyway,
thermostat. I don't know. Nah, it probably would have boiled over if it probably would have boiled over if it was thermostat. So,
either
water
way,
pump.
it's stressful, man. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I talked to Moonshine. I talked to Jaybird today too.
How's Jaybird doing?
It's good, man. He's still waiting for you to review those books he sent you on Bone Tracker. I said, don't worry, Jaybird. I'll make sure Ed gets to it because now that I'm understanding Bone Tracker, I'll check it out. I'll resend them to you, Ed. Jaybird sent a bunch of his books over to do a little analysis on. You remember that, Ed? Do you remember that?
No, yeah, I remember that. I thought I responded.
I don't know. I don't think you did, but that's okay because
I might have responded to you instead
I'm
of
more,
him.
I'm more curious now about how you respond to that.
I remember he had a high SRR.
I'm going to take a look at that. We'll revisit that. But I had a great conversation with him. But with Moonshine, very interesting talk. Like I said, it was a long talk. So if anyone like Lazy Dog, when I'm driving from LA to Vegas or back, that's the time to talk. I could catch up with people.
You didn't talk to me long today.
Well, dude, I was just fitting you in. I knew I was going to talk to you tonight.
You didn't want
So-
to give away any of the surprises.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about what I want to talk to you about.
What else we got besides?
No,
stuff you
listen, man,
want
this
to
is
talk
this
about?
is this is a cool conversation that I had with him. I was telling him how it's uncomfortable to make bigger bets when some people are kind of maybe stuck in their ways, not necessarily more conservative betting. It's uncomfortable actually moving up levels, Ed, because you can be on a very long roll. And because you're very conservative betting, you look back on your roll of like 30 plus and go, man, it's embarrassing. Like I made nothing on this. And I think there's a lot of people that maybe are a bit more, not necessarily what it is, gun shy. It's not comfortable for people to put money out on the table and risk it. It goes against what a lot of people want to do. And I was telling Moonshine, I had to train myself to get used to, like when I was playing poker, I had to train myself to almost be comfortable losing money, putting yourself at risk because it's not somewhere, a responsible, person with their job and with everything. It goes against everything that you feel like you should be doing as a responsible human being managing money. You know what I mean? It's uncomfortable putting out $150 bet on the six or 180 versus $18. But if you're going to make money at this game, you can't just wait for the fucking massive rolls. At some point, you have
They're
to.
very far. They're very far and few between.
So, Ed, this is more a personal, individual problem that people themselves have to figure out. It's not like he doesn't have the money. It's more so, I think, a comfort
Well,
level of
it
training
is
yourself to do that.
a couple of things I'll just throw in as anecdotal stuff. I didn't say that right.
Yeah, but that's close enough.
Close.
Anecdotal. I like how
You
you
know,
said it.
say it again.
Wait, anecdotal.
Whichever. I
Yeah.
remember the first time I had a roll. It was about an hour and 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I made $8,000.
Damn. Yep. That's nice.
$10 table.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit the ATS early.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was doing good.
Yeah.
Now I did have a guy propose to me at the end of the roll. I turned him down. But as I'm going to the
Was he a
cage,
redhead? Was he a redhead?
he was gray headed.
Okay.
I probably
Blue
should have took
hair.
him up. He was a blue hair, a little bit of
Blue
no
hair.
hair.
Yeah.
Blue hair and no hair. But I was going to the cage, and one of the guys on the table came back and said, "What did you clear off that table?" I said, $8,000.
Big shot. 8,000. Oh.
He said, "I need to teach you how to bet."
Mm.
Made me think. Made me think a little bit because they took more than I did.
Yeah.
Way more than I did.
Yeah.
Because I got to a level of where I was collecting black chips, and I thought, man, this is awesome. Every time I roll the dice, I'm getting a black chip. They're getting purples, right? So that was an eye opener
Yeah.
for me. But I can remember another time about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I was in Biloxi and I had Rock with me. Rock was new to really not the game, but to really trying to get into it and influence the dice and up in your game.
Yeah.
He was at a class, and we caught a long roll from 220 inside. You've heard me probably talk about this before, but this particular guy had never had a 6 or 8 above $60.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have been there all night during that roll collecting
Right.
from $60. In a normal world, he would have been there.
Mm-hmm.
But he was standing next to me, and then he was like, "I never had a 6 or 8 over $60. What are you going to do next?" I mean, we're at 42,
Mm-hmm.
and we've just collected. I said, "I'm going to 90." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, they're going to give you $1 change. But don't do it if you're not comfortable." He said, "No, I'm going to follow you." So we went to 90. We collected 105. He said, "Now what?" I said, "Now we're going to 180. We collected 210.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Now what?" I said, "Take $30 out of your rack, put it in your hand, and when it hits, tell him you're going to 420. He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to 420. You don't have to. I'm going to 420. Here's my
Mm-hmm.
$30. He said, "I'm going to follow you." So we went to 420. He said, "Now what?" I said, "We collect. Get $10 out of your rack, drop it to him when it throws, and they'll throw you 5 black chips."
Sweet.
They did. So we're sitting at 420, and we just collected 500. And he says, "What do we do next?" I said, "Same thing we did at 42. We're just adding a zero, going to 900.
Yeah. Nice, man.
He said, 900?
Man, his balls just sort of shrinking
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah. And so
Did he?
he hit it.
At 900?
We hit it, and we went to 900.
Nice, man. This is it's thrilling right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, he can't believe what we're doing. I mean, and there's other numbers getting pressed up as we go along, but I never even bet the 410. He threw a gazillion fours, but I was concentrating on the inside.
It's gonna pay a G. Yep.
He hit the $900 six, paid $1,050. He said, "Now what? Now what are you going to do?" I said, "Well, the normal bet would be to go to 1,800, but I said, I tell you what I'm going to do right now because we're deep in this hand. I'm going to collect. If he hits it again, I'm going to go ahead and collect."
Mm-hmm.
And he hit it again.
Damn.
So we put 1,050 back in the rack again. Because he's following me. He said, now what? I said, okay, now we'll go to 1,800.
Mm-hmm.
He hit it again.
Nice. Nice.
All right. So we went to 1,800. He never hit it again.
Okay.
That's a lot. That's a lot of sixes.
That is a lot of sixes. Dude, six shooter, dude.
We've gone from $18 to $1,800 with a collect at 900 twice. If we had done the normal progression,
Mm-hmm.
we would have been at 1,800 on that last hit and collected 2,100 instead of 1,050. That's a big difference.
That is a big difference, but it's also a big difference if he was just
If
collecting.
he didn't hit it again, then that's why it's was smart to do that. But we were deep, and I was like I was collecting some money. I needed to collect it.
What are you talking about? There's a lot of people that he might have just stayed at 60 and collecting that and collecting that and collecting 70 and 70 and 70.
May have eventually gone to 90 and
Yeah,
collected
eventually.
105
Yeah.
and
then
getting black chips and happy with it. Right.
Yeah. And then there might have been people who might have been taking that money and just pressing up the sister and then never having a hit.
Well, that would have been stupid. You only press what's hitting, folks. Only press the number that's hitting. Fuck the strategies that press the sisters.
Ed, I have a similar story. This has always stuck with me. I hit the 27,000 at Encore. The guy said, a full-length extended version of this podcast is available exclusively on our Patreon page. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and will tell all of your fellow craps-playing friends about it. Please follow Casino Tears on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you like the show, please rate it 5 stars and leave a review. The best and most fun way to contact us would be to call and leave a message on our official Casino Tears vent line, 229-07. You can also email us at no7@casinotears.com. And lastly, to help support this podcast, you can visit our Patreon at patreon.com/casinotears. On behalf of Roll to Win Craps from Alabama and 10 Ton is #1 from Las Vegas, thanks for listening.